Welcome to Gentle January, an alternative to the everything all at once start to the new year that many of us are used to. Today we are talking about dreaming big, starting small, and reaching our goals. It's January. We're going to talk about goals and intentions, but this is not what you think. I have always been a big dreamer. We've already talked about some of my favorite games that I played when I was a kid, but let's go over it. Number 1, Barbies, role play, world building. Number 2, The Sims, role playing and world building. And number 3, as I got older, was a game that my friends called Scenario. And it was where they would bring in a couple of characters and a few details and feed them to me like a little AI machine, and I would spit out a story for them. Why was I undiagnosed for so long? Anyway, I still have conversations with my friends and people close to me where I use the word imagine over and over. Can you imagine? And the answer is almost always yes. I can. The big imagination and the big dreams have not always been appreciated. When I would share my big dreams and aspirations with my family, I felt like I was being belittled or argued against with some kind of logic that they had acquired through their lived experience. I've always been too big for my britches or too into myself. I was told that I should just be grateful for my ability to replicate the lives that I saw in front of me. Maybe not explicitly, but actually sometimes explicitly. Clearly, that message didn't make it through. When it comes to setting goals, core values are super important. By identifying your core values, you can start setting goals that are in alignment with the life that you want to live. I know the word alignment has been taken over by the woo-woo space, but I don't think it has to be. You can easily look up a list of core values and see some of the words that are used to describe them on that list and pick out just a few that you identify with. I think this list is fun. I think it's a really good place to start if you have never thought about how your core values align with your goals. It can take some time to comb through the list of core values, and I really do think it's worth it. If you value authenticity, but you spend all day, every day shape-shifting into some kind of thing that everyone else wants around you because you are a people pleaser, I don't know if that's in alignment with your core value of authenticity. That's not an insult. To me, that's just an observation. I think that's just a place to start. If you value fun and friendship, but you're a workaholic who never texts anyone back. If you value growth, but you are too afraid to be seen as a beginner, you're probably not in alignment with that core value. So getting clear on core values and what those look like can be helpful for setting goals and intentions for yourself. And if we run it back to dreaming big, I think your core values often show up in your big dreams. It doesn't matter if you're a bottom-up thinker or a top-down thinker. You can look at the things that you dream about and aspire to and compare them to the core value list and see what the overlap is. Then maybe you can set some goals for yourself. One essential thing for me is visualization. Again, this whole thing sounds woo-woo, and maybe it is a little bit woo-woo because I am a little bit woo-woo, but I don't want it to be like over the top woo so no one believes me or thinks that this is real or whatever. None of it's real. For the sake of this piece and the sake of this video, the definition of the word visualization is the formation of a mental image of something. Listen. I know some people have levels of aphantasia, and if you are not familiar with what aphantasia is, it is the inability to have or conjure a mental image. It keeps you from picturing things in your mind. I know people who have aphantasia, and it is a spectrum. So you can have partial aphantasia or complete aphantasia. I have something that would be considered hyperphantasia. I also have mild synesthesia. I told you it's busy. I told you it's busy and I told you it's loud in here, okay? For the sake of this video, we're gonna say visualization is available to everyone. Someone who falls on the aphantasia spectrum, visualization looks different for you. Maybe you need to physically map it out on a vision board. That's why they exist. Lots of people do vision boards. Mental imagery can actually activate parts of the brain similar to the actual experience. This means if you can hold an image in your mind, if you can visualize something, you can actually start to build the goal, dream, intention before it comes to fruition. And there's actual science to back this up, so I'm not just in my woo-woo bag. There are findings that suggest that imagery ability is significantly related to athletic performance. There is even enough evidence that they have considered integrating imagery training into performance. There is enough evidence for this that imagery training may be part of some athletes' actual training routine. Meditation and visualization towards the shared goal of whatever that athlete's goal is. As someone who is always visualizing, I can tell you that I really identify with this. Not to be corny, but like if you could see it, you could be it. But I see it here. So in January, it is so common for us to talk about goals. I know a lot of people actually really love setting goals or resolutions or intentions for the year. I know that I do. I really do love it. But the way I set my goals may not be the classic goal setting models. We're still going to go over some of the classic goal setting models. The acronym is SMART goals. Your goals should be specific. That's the S. Specific means you should include details of what you want to accomplish, because the more detailed, the better in this model. M stands for measurable. That means you should be able to measure your progress. Measure is a really hard word for me, because my grandma was originally, her family was from the Midwest, and she would say like measure. I don't know if anybody else's family does that, but because she spent so much time around me, I say measure sometimes. So anyway, measure. You should be able to measure your goals with some kind of metric. This allows you to track your progress accurately and know if you have accomplished them or not. A is for attainable. Your goals should challenge you, but they should also be attainable. Again, this is the SMART goal model, not the Lauren Lavelle model. Realistic, I feel like that's kind of in line with attainable personally, but yeah, your goals should be realistic. I get it. I'm not going to set the goal of in this year, I'm going to go to outer space. I guess if I skip the specific part of how I want to go to outer space, we could maybe get there through psychedelics, but that's not what this is about. And the T stands for timely. So your goals have a time limit. Your goals have an end date. I don't necessarily think there's anything wrong with SMART goals. I think they can be great for particularly gym goals. If you have any fitness goals, if you have any long distance running or anything like that, I think a SMART goal is the way to go. But I think when we're talking about world building and expansive goals, SMART goals can get a little bit stifling, suffocating. Goal setting can be motivating. It could boost your focus. It can make you more persistent. So I don't see anything wrong with goal setting. Clear goals like these SMART goals can enhance your performance because you, again, can see what you're working towards. So it makes it a little bit easier. Having the ability to measure your goals can help you check something off the list or see how far you have to go. I do think that some of these methods for goal setting tend to be a little bit in the box for big dreamers. So that's my take. Do we think that big dreams and goal setting can coexist? I do. How do you reach your dreams? How do you reach your goals? In my opinion and in my experience, one small step at a time. You've heard it before, but it's a good method. One of my greatest antidotes to the overwhelm of having a big dream and a big goal is to break it up into bite-sized pieces. I say bite-sized pieces, but I mean even smaller than bite-sized. Like Costco samples are a full meal compared to the bite-sized pieces that I'm breaking it up into. Dreams and goals work when you work. I hear the girls saying Delulu is the Salulu and manifest it and all of those things. And I'm not above it. I'm Delulu. I love a good manifestation. And I think one of the biggest missing pieces is the work. The work can be exhausting and the work can be overwhelming and the work can make it feel like maybe it's not worth it after all. If we go back to those core values and we think about the reasons that we're setting goals and intentions for ourselves, if we break up our goals into SMART goals and big dreamer goals, and then if we break them down into microscopic pieces, it all becomes a little bit more doable. If you start off by saying, I've never gone to the gym before and I want to start going to the gym this year and I want to deadlift 300 pounds or 126-ish kilos, it's probably not going to be enough to just visualize it. I don't think the visualization from the beginning of that year to the end of the year is going to be enough for you to pull 300 pounds. But I don't know, maybe it's genetic. For those of us who are not blessed with the ability to visualize and go straight in and pick up a really heavy weight, we're going to have to work towards it. And I think the combination of the small steps, the SMART goals, and the visualization are better than every piece on their own. I think we are in an imagination drought. I think we are in a big dreaming desert. And I don't think that my definition of big dream is bigger or better than yours. I think big dreams are relative. I think they're in line with your core values. And I think they are essential for the future. My goal for the Gentle January series was to examine the small stuff, because the small stuff over time becomes the big stuff. My goal for Gentle January was not to get caught up in optimization and perfectionism. My goal for Gentle January was to keep myself alive. My goal for Gentle January was to cultivate community in a romantic and slow and mindful way. My goal for Gentle January was to turn my attention inward and express myself to a community of people who were actually interested in hearing what I have to say. Longer than a 15-second video clip, without the loudness of the scrolly 2-second like social media that we're in right now. I said I wanted to do a series. I wanted it to be 10 days long. I wanted to honor our weekends by not posting on those days. I wanted to speak and write with my true voice. I wanted to do something genuine and not from an AI chatbot. And I wanted it to feel authentic, because authenticity is probably my most core value. Overall, I'm pretty proud of what I accomplished. This may not seem like much of a big dream to you, but it felt like a big task for me. And I broke it up. And I worked really hard, and some days I felt like it wasn't going to happen, but here we are. My hope for this Gentle January is that you can reflect back on some of the things that we've talked about and feel a little bit inspired to set some goals for yourself. My hope for this Gentle January is that you don't let perfectionism kill your big dreams, that you allow slowness and play to revive your spirit when you get tired on your way to your goals. My goal for Gentle January is that you feel like you can be yourself, and that being yourself is the ultimate goal. I hope you enjoyed this series. It was a big goal for me. It was a big task for me to sit down every single day, and I know some of you are shaking your heads, but it was. If you like this content, please let me know with your comments, with your likes, with your shares. Join me on Patreon. Go find me on other social medias if you haven't already. Join my email list, all of those things. Your presence here has been an amazing gift for me. I think it's like the best way I've ever started off a new year. One of the best ways, for sure. I appreciate you, and I love you so much. Talk to you later. Bye.